Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TV6 Digital Desk live stream. My name is Molly Birch, and I'll be taking you through a recap of today's headlines. This stream runs every night starting at 8/7 Central Time from Sunday to Thursday. You can find us streaming on both Facebook and YouTube, whichever platform you'd prefer. Feel free to comment and ask questions in the chat as you feel like it. I'll do my best to keep an eye on those and answer those questions as we go and after the stream as well. With all of that business out of the way, let's take a look at our first story for tonight. In Decision 2024 coverage, we are less than 24 hours away from First Lady Jill Biden's visit to Upper Michigan. The White House says she will arrive at Marquette-Sawyer Regional Airport at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, along with Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff. The Biden campaign says the two will speak at 3 o'clock at a political event in Marquette. No public details have been announced about it. TV6 will have live coverage tomorrow afternoon on air and online with extensive coverage on all newscasts. And a former Ishpeming police officer faces charges for criminal sexual conduct and providing alcohol to minors. He's accused of committing the crimes while he was employed by the Ishpeming Police Department. Court documents show 28-year-old Travis Hardwick is charged with one felony count of third-degree forced or coerced criminal sexual conduct and one misdemeanor charge of selling or furnishing alcohol to minors. Ishpeming Police Chief Chad Radabas said Hardwick was placed on administrative leave when the department learned of the accusations. After an investigation by the Michigan State Police, Radabas said Hardwick was fired. He's scheduled for a preliminary exam hearing June 11th in Marquette County District Court. And developing now, 3 Lower Michigan men face federal charges for a 2022 fire at Isle Royale National Park. Isle Royal. Those charged are 30-year-old Scott Warren Allard, 29-year-old Dylan Kenneth Wagner, and 28-year-old Jason Arden Allard. They're each charged with one count of lighting, tending, or using a fire causing damage to real property, and one count of violating conditions established at Isle Royal. Both charges carry a maximum of up to 6 months in prison, up to a $5,000 fine, up to 5 years probation, and mandatory restitution. And the weather is warming and trees are turning green again, but the Michigan DNR says this is when wildfire risk also increases. The DNR said it has already had a few reports of brush fires in the area recently. Today, the UP is experiencing mostly high and very high fire risk. The DNR says before you burn, you have to check its website to see if burning is allowed. If it is, take precautions.
Burn inside of a barrel whenever possible and keep a water source handy when you're burning. And if the fire does happen to get away from you in any way at all, immediately call 911 before you try to take your measures to put the fire out.
Pepin says all types of burning come with risks, including bonfires and debris burning. And in new developments, the swearing in of 3 Delta County commissioners has been postponed. 2 members of the County Board of Canvassers voted against certifying last week's recall election results. TV6's Escanaba Bureau reporter Barbara Bellinger explains what happened and what comes next.
If you live in Delta County and you're confused about who your current commissioners are, you're not alone. Republicans David Moyle, Bob Peterson, and Bob Barron lost their seats in the May 7th election. Election results were on the agenda to be certified at a Board of Canvassers meeting yesterday, but that didn't happen.
By not certifying the election, it delays when the new board can take their oaths of office and do a reorganizational meeting, and it kind of puts us all in limbo.
The 2 Republican canvassers, Bonnie Hakala and Leanne Oman, refused to certify.
They cited the ratio of votes was the same or very similar in the 3 races, and they thought that that indicated that something was wrong with the results themselves.
But Prezraki says canvassers don't certify based on election results.
If the paperwork is all done properly, if the number of voters balances with the number of ballots and the number of ballots tabulated, so if all those things match up and are recorded properly, then the election should be certified.
A group called Delta County Citizens is asking for a hand recount. However, only candidates can ask for recounts, and that can't happen until the election is certified. Moyle says he's not involved with the group and will not ask for a recount.
More liberals came to the polls than conservatives on the 7th. I lost in my district. I'm not excited about it, but that's what it is.
Peterson and Barron say they haven't decided either way on asking for a recount. Canvasser Hakala's son Seth is the organizer of the Delta County Citizens Group. He declined an on-camera interview, citing harassment and safety concerns for his mother. The Board of Canvassers will meet again on Monday. If they do not certify the election then, it will go to the State Board of Canvassers. In the meantime, the reorganizational meeting will remain postponed until results are certified. Barbara Bellinger, TV6 News, Escanaba.
Thank you, Barbara. Today is opening day for the UP's walleye and northern pike seasons. Favorable conditions are reported in Little Bay Denok. The owner of Blades Bait and Tackle in Kipling says the landings were full of trucks and trailers this morning. A lot of people were out on the bay. There were poor ice fishing conditions during the mild winter. And that's why Paul Bladorn says he's optimistic there's plenty of fish to catch with a variety of methods.
Some are trolling, they're using some smaller crankbaits. Some of them are trolling maybe in a different area off the reefs, and they're just drifting with crawler harnesses or maybe a real slow troll. And some people are casting and just from their boat. It's good fishing, and there's a lot of fish out there.
If you don't have a boat, Bladorn says there are 3 great fishing piers at the North Shore Landing. His store also rents out kayaks. And Guts Frisbee was born in the Keweenaw Peninsula in the late 1950s. In 1974, Marquette hosted its first Guts tournament at Cliffs Ridge Ski Hill. Since then, the sport spread around the world and is even part of the World Flying Disc Federation. The Marquette Regional History Center is celebrating the sport with a new exhibit called 50 Years of Guts Frisbee in Marquette. It features discs, T-shirts, awards, and memorabilia from Marquette County teams and athletes. Organizers say a lot of the relics were donated by the family of Buck Buchanan, who was instrumental in bringing Guts to Marquette.
There's a lot of memorabilia. It primarily came from Buck Buchanan, his collection, but there have been other people, and I've gathered things from people in other states have sent me things to put on display. So there's some really great things to see.
If you're looking for even more Guts history, you can visit the center on Wednesday, July 31st at 6:30 in the evening for a presentation about the sport and its history in Marquette. And finally tonight on the TV6 Digital Desk live stream, the United Way of Marquette County is looking for a UP artist to design the team's jerseys for its upcoming hockey game fundraiser. The nonprofit will be facing off against the Red Wings alumni team in September. United Way is asking the public to submit jersey designs by May 31st. The team will narrow down the submissions to its favorites, then the public will vote for the winner.
Excited to see what local talent there is out there, and it's really just seeing how people want the UP in Marquette County to be represented in a big event like this. Should be some cool ideas.
You can drop off your design at the United Way of Marquette County's office or through email. And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in right back here on Facebook at 8:45 tomorrow morning. TV6's Mandy Koskela and Michael Sobek will recap top stories from the morning on their show, Beyond Your Morning News. If you have a story idea you think we should report on, feel free to contact us at any time. These are a few easy ways to get a hold of both myself and others in the newsroom. And again, you can contact us at any time. We would love to hear from you and what's happening in your community. Thank you all for joining me live at the TV6 Digital Desk. Have a great rest of your night.